It is business time, people. You know what that means? It means it's taxes. And even though I'm not going to get into taxes or some of that logistics stuff, what I wanted to talk to you today is that if you're a creative, or if you're a creative professional that is you're new into the business, or even if you're seasoned but have been doing a lot of things manually because maybe you're trying to save some cost or whatever, I'm here to share with you that you don't have to, and I'm going to share with you a tool that I use every single week to not only get paid but get paid on time, as well as track and make my tax life easier when it comes to tax season. So today we're discussing Wave apps. I love their tagline that says manage your money like a boss, because that's what that's what you're doing. So like I said, they have invoicing, payments, and then they do accounting, banking, and payroll, as well as they have some advisors. Now the banking or the payroll, the accounting, and advisors are like a paid service that you can do on like a monthly or whatever setup. I'm not using that yet, but I do believe that like it'll help me in the future as I grow my business. If you don't know about my business, you can check out my personal channel, where I can talk a little bit about that. And I'll be posting some other information on my journey as I grow a production company. The other thing is that they do have banking. I think they're doing it in select areas or even states or something like that. So I don't have that feature. I have a different thing, and I'll have a video on what bank I use separately. But for now, it's a one-stop shop. Let's hop into what's in here. And at first glance, you're gonna see that I don't have any income. It's because this is an old account that I was using when I first learned about Wave apps and was starting to invoice. So, but I wanted to give you a sense of like, it gives you a sense of what's here. It asks you to create like a account, and you can create several businesses under one account. And I didn't realize this when I first did it, because and partly the reason why I created a new account is because I wanted it under my business email. Now, if you are somebody who has multiple businesses or manages different things, this is a great feature that's there. The other thing is, like, when you go into your profile, you can set up your businesses and what's associated. So like you can upload a logo, your information, which you won't have for me, and then you can even archive your information if, like, let's say you sell it or you no longer are going to be doing, you decide to close out or whatnot. You can actually do what's called an estimate, which is, proposal, and it makes it super easy to convert. So let's say you have a client. You can see here that I have a couple of projects here. I have this one project, and I can come over here and view, and what it does is it can upload your logo. So it has your logo, and then it gives you the estimate, the information for your business, and then the person who's gonna, their client name, and then the services that you're gonna create, and then what the grand total of the proposal is gonna be. Now, the benefit of this here is what it's doing is allows you to make something and be able to track it, right? So if you have a CRM or whatever, this allows you to send something to a client. They can look it over and say, you know what, I want to do that. And then you can easily come over here and convert this into an invoice by clicking this button, say convert. And then all it does is it converts it to an actual invoice where you can send it to a client. Now, once you have that there, you can, like I said, each one of these things can be set up independently for your services. So for me, I kind of end up doing, like, I have a couple packages, but I end up customizing some of these services to the client and whatever they might do. If you're someone that sells goods, you might need sales tax. You can add that sales tax as you see. The other thing is, like, let's say if you have to make adjustments for different sales tax or whatnot, if you can add multiple sales tax options there. The other thing is, like, with the customers, you can go into the customer section. Let's say you have their information, you can do there. You can actually clients can actually save cards to their account so that you can, let's say you're on a retainer, or it's a client that you work on with regularly and you never know when it's going to happen, but they just want to get something done and paid for. They can add a card. You can then charge the card once you have the invoice directly, and then they'd get the email with their receipt. Once you send the invoice, like I said, they can either pay in the portal, or they can send a check or whatever, and then you have to just go ahead and charge that amount. What's really nice is once it's done, all that information comes into Wave, and not only that, but if you have it connected with your business account, it then connects with your business account and allows you to do some of that accounting stuff. Now, really, what it comes down to is the reports. So under reports, I can go to a profit and loss, which is something you have to do for taxes. And right now, I don't have anything, but let me go to 2021 and update the report, and you can see that I made $4,000 income, and there was some small operating expenses, and I netted $3,974. And it gives me a breakdown of like what the whole setup is, and I can easily send this to my tax accountant, and they can get my taxes set up and filled out, right? But what's also really beneficial is under reports is I can actually go to payroll if you have payroll set up, or I can go income by customer. You have a customer who says, hey, I need to send you a 1099. How much did I pay you last year? You can easily go to the customer setup. You can go to the year that you're doing it and say, oh, hey, this person, you paid me $300. You don't have to send me a 1099. Hey, this person, you paid me $1,800. I need a 1099 from you. X, Y, and Z, right? That's the benefit of having this sort of software. Now, people would recommend, why don't I do QuickBooks? I've tried QuickBooks. I always found it very cumbersome. I didn't love it. It might be has gotten better now, but I don't know, because I've been using Wave for so long and it's been really beneficial. So obviously processing fees are calculated per transaction, but there's no monthly fees, which is really beneficial. For credit cards and Apple Pay, it's 2.9% plus 60 cents. For Visa, MasterCard, and Discovery, it's 3.4% plus 60 cents for American Express. Now, if you're doing a bank payment, which is an ACH, right, you're doing 1% with a minimum fee of $1. And there's no cost to me or to the customer for issuing a refund. They do return the amount to if there's a refund that is needed, which is really beneficial. This is one of those things that is invaluable for a business, because if you're someone who is just starting out and especially if you're like out of college or in college and you start freelancing and that's all you're doing for work, it can be a chore. It can be really a big struggle and a stressor to not get paid on time. I mean, luckily for most of my career, I was working at a job while doing freelancing. So like if they delayed a little bit, it wasn't a big deal. But now that I'm running my own business, it is so nice to be able to know that like I can send them something and they can open it up. I'll get notified when they open up the invoice, and then if they paid. And I'm not a professional at this. Like I still have a lot to learn when it comes to business financing, but this has helped me a lot. And I just really believe that this is something you guys should have in your tool belt when it comes to getting paid as a creative and a freelancer in this industry, whether you're a graphic designer, a photographer, an artist, a filmmaker, an editor, whatever you might be. If you don't have something like this already in your tool belt, you are missing out. So go check out Wave Apps. I don't think there's any special code that I can give you. If I could, I would give it to you. But if I do, you'll see it in the description down below. Thank you so much for watching. If you have another recommendation for a tool that has helped you in your business, be sure to leave that in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next one.